Evening, people, and welcome to BNR once more. I've been off with a cold, but thankfully, BNR have had the strength in depth to cover me. And as Sarib showed yesterday, he was host, inverted host. Call it what you like, but he did a grand job of it. But
Tavla host. Anyway, carry on.
what did he say?
Tavla or something.
A tavla
The
host.
Tavla host. No, he was very good. Listen, Sarib, he knows I'm harsh on him already. He made a very good start yesterday. His first time as a host. I mean, he's got more cojones than the guy next to him about hosting. But Sarib, you are absolutely brilliant. A natural, I would say. A natural. We'll brushing up on a few skills. We'll do mentoring one-to-one, me and you. But very good start. Very good start.
But as I was rudely interrupted by Avi, I'm kind of used to it as well. But I was going to say that the question is, do Liverpool have the cover to sort of really go once again for this season with their current crop of players? But to discuss all the sort of next 6 days, the window shutting, who Liverpool bring through the door, we'll have a big, massive squad ourselves. But Avi, talking about windows shutting and doors opening up, sort of, you've not been really told to close the door behind you in terms of football channels and football in general is concerned, but you're in the process of packing your bags, but slightly different reason.
Am I packing my bags? Am I going to another channel? Are you transferring me? What's going
Singapore.
on?
Singapore.
Yeah. No, I'm going on a vacation for 8-9 days, just switching off. Do that once a year. No football. I'll be obviously watching the Liverpool games. I'm going to the Singapore supporters group where they get together. I think the match against Villa, I think, is at 11 p.m. Singapore time. So I'll be a few bevies down and a couple of chai at that time, winding down to watch the game with the Singapore supporters group. So that should be good. We'll be away from the shows, away from the deadline day, which is great. I'm done with it now. Whatever happens. Good luck if we make any signings. And that's it. I'm pretty sure Gina will be messaging me throughout the night of the 31st or 30th of August to come on a quick sort of 10-15 minute on the show. So I'll make sure I have my mobile at least with me on hand.
I was thinking BNI should have a... Sorry, go on, Gene.
Because I'm done with it. Yeah, he's the guy that was saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to bring everyone in the world together. And if FSG don't sign players,
Listen, I don't think this particular window this summer for the first time in a long time is on FSG, but we'll go into that.
Anyway,
yeah, it's interesting. But have you taken your laptop over to Singapore?
Mobile.
No.
Laptop free. I'll get divorced if I take my laptop and do any kind of work in my profession. If I do any kind of work, I'll get a divorce straight away.
Oh, we've got Shamatke on the beach with his laptop, and we've got Avi in the spa with his phone over in Singapore. God help us. But yeah, thank you very much for holding the fort, boys, yesterday, and looking fresh as ever. Sarib, how are we doing? You good?
Can't complain. Same old. Got a bit of a haircut. Not too bad, but obviously it's not looking. So I just thought I'd cover up today. No, actually, you know what? Actually,
What's a bit of a haircut? Is that where the barber does one side and leaves the other side for tomorrow?
No. Look. I didn't want Cheen to feel left out. I know the two top guys with no hat on, so I wanted to, relate to Cheen a lot more closely.
What's bit of a haircut? But Che, what's bit of a haircut? What does that mean, bit of a haircut?
You know I hate when you do
Avi, what do you know about haircut? You bloody go Mexico to get a few injections on your forehead every other day. Why are you talking about haircut same with him?
I don't want my hair to look like Inas. That's why I've got to go Mexico to get a few roots in. That's the issue. I don't understand that the way he said it. The side of this, I'm not picking on you, but listen, but then you got to be ready for these little cheeky comments.
What do you call that?
I had a bit of a haircut.
What do you call it these days? Do you call that a taper fade?
A taper fade, isn't it?
No, mine's a bit higher. I don't get skin fade. I got like a one fade. I don't like the whole idea of having no hair on the side of your head.
Avi, you're more like a short back and size guy, aren't you?
Fuck knows, I cut my hair these days. I cut my own hair these days. I said, God knows what I do.
What do you say? Just on the sides, please. Not the back. Just leave everything on the top.
Leave the toupee alone, innit? Leave the toupee alone.
Avi, in November, I'm going to show you boys what hair is, man. No, you wouldn't.
I might need that number. I might need that number.
No, you wanted to go. You gave me the number.
Okay, boys, banter to a side for, I'm sure it'll probably last about 5 minutes before the roller kicks off. Let's go and rewind to that mad hour that we had yesterday. Avi, these guys had their say. It's only fair if I come to you first. We've heard whispers, we've heard sort of trickles or news trickling through for the last 2-3 months. If I'm really honest about the superstar in our squad is Mohamed Salah. The Egyptian king has been once again linked away to a move. And I'm sure you have as well. And we were talking about this in our WhatsApp conversation yesterday. The amount of sort of Al Ittihad fans that have been DMing us saying Mohamed Salah is their player. He's the Egyptian king. And some even have started wearing masks and even getting shirts as well. But the thing is, Liverpool will come out and Jurgen Klopp will come out today and being very, very defiant in their stance that Mohamed Salah is fully committed 100% to Liverpool Football Club. But you do get a sense, Avi, that this rumor will just not go away.
It won't go away. And I said it to one of my other friends back home. I said, if they had come early in the window, and if we had either Michael Edwards or Julian Ward at the helm as sporting director, I think we would have done a deal, Asim. I really do. I think they would have got the best possible deal for him, 150 million. If Salah was kind of not enticing it so much, but if he said, look, let's just look at what the Saudis are offering us, I think that deal could have been done. But right now, as where we are with 9 days to go, no, you don't sell Mohamed Salah. He's arguably the greatest ever Liverpool player, I would say. But for the Arabian world, for people in Saudi Arabia, for the Middle East, he's an ambassador. He's what he's like a representative of them. So they will push the limit, and I'm sure they are. I'm sure they've been talking to Rami, but Rami, it seems as if he's been firm and said, "Listen, not this summer, or not for the foreseeable." But I think we should prepare for the inevitability, which is that Mohamed Salah will at some point, probably next year, go to Saudi Arabia. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Gene, Avi mentions Rami Abbas, and yesterday when the whole aggregators were absolutely going off, and it was giving me a heart attack every other second, because every journalist was coming out, whether it's from the Arab world, then even the Liverpool local one started as well. And you thought, you know what, there's legs in this. There is something that coming. And then I got the big one, the bomber, as they say, from David Ornstein. But they said, and the best thing about that tweet was that, it's still unclear if Mohamed Salah really wants to move away from Liverpool. But as things calmed down, I thought, you know what? If Rami Abbas just came out in that hour and just put an end to those crazy rumors, it would have been a lot better. But then I thought, you know what? How many times has he come out and stopped? And these rumors will just not go away, because these Arabs are obsessed with this player, because he is the crown jewel in the Arab world. In terms of he's the perfect ambassador, not just for football reasons, for every single thing that you want him to represent. And they will keep on trying. And they will only stop when they have him on that plane.
100%. Asim, when you saw, I think, in Klopp's presser today, how they actually spammed every single comment before, Klopp came on to give his presser. They were all, you seen the yellow and black love arts coming from Al Ittihad fans. So, this isn't going to go away. He's not going away, and they're definitely not going away. And they're going to keep on beating that drum until he's at Saudi. And to be fair to him, look, like you mentioned, he's the crown jewel. He's the pride of the Arabs, and they will do whatever it takes and pay whatever it takes. But Salah being Salah, I can't see him leaving this summer. He wants to play at the highest sort of level. This is the highest sort of level. I know maybe you can turn around and say, is it the highest sort of level? He's not playing in the Champions League this season. Does he have a squad that's big enough and good enough to go and challenge Manchester City to go and win the title? So is he actually good enough is he actually playing at the highest sort of level? But Premier League is the highest sort of level, and Salah wants to be, he's one of them that wants to break records every single summer. Every single game he wants to break a record, because that's just the way he is. So, to be fair, I think, 2 years left on his contract is way too many. He's only 31, and like I mentioned yesterday, he's fit and strong enough to go for at least 4 to 5 seasons. So I think, look, he's I'm hearing some breaking news. No more.
There's just a statement coming out. I was going to interrupt you, Asim, while you were asking him a question. Jurgen Klopp has come out with obviously the transfer embargo stuff. After the press conference, he said, "I have all the information around, and I know what is possible and not, and it's not always exactly what I want. but it is not my job to complain. It is my job to take the team we have at the end of the transfer window and make the best of it.
Wow. Wow. The yes man has spoken, may I say? The dictator. The dictator. Can you just read that quotation once again? Because I don't want to misquote.
Give me that quote, put it somebody, please, because I actually don't want to.
And further on, I want to improve the squad. I absolutely do. But I have all the information around and I know what is possible and not possible. And it's not always exactly what I want. Probably not enough money or...
So,
one second, how can there be... You can't... When you turn around and say not enough money...
His words, Gene, not mine. His words, not mine. I'm saying to you what he's trying to say. He's trying to say that he's been hindered by FSG. That's what he signed. That's what signals to me.
7 million and you just only spent 17 million of that. Where's that? Where's the 95 million that's left over? I'm being serious. Where's that 95 million? This is... somebody put that quote up, man, because...
I need the quote to really react.
You don't want it to
really react.
Someone actually did put it up there. Someone actually did in the comments.
To really react to it, you have to have it the sort of written quote in front of you. Because
basically, it means Klopp is basically stating his hands are tied within the budget and what he can do. He can't always go for the top targets of his players.
Every summer's the same nonsense. Like, when are we gonna actually try to understand that this is not okay? I know Jurgen. We sat on the show so many times. I don't want to blame Klopp, but he's got to take some sort of responsibility for this, because he has to do something about this. It just can't keep happening because we're falling behind. And if they've just put a statement that we're not signing no more players, basically. Oh, come on now. You don't wanted to give them to the end of the transfer window. 6 days to go in the window, and they're telling us we're going to get no more players when we clearly need 2 or 3.
The people out there think we should do this, we should do that. Another centre half, another number 6, and another number 8, and another striker. He'll sit there, ladies and gentlemen, he said. I was always glad when the transfer windows are over. I am absolutely in it. If I want to improve the squad, I have to absolutely do it. But I have all the information around and I know what is possible and not possible. And that is not always exactly what I want. But it's not my job to complain. It is my job to take the team we have at the end of the transfer window and make the best of it. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, they have this and they have that. That is how I understand it.
Wow.
I'm not sure what percentage of true stories is in the newspapers, so thank God I'm not in it. But I'm pretty sure there have been times where I've been asked about something and I've thought, hey, I don't even know the player.
You know what? If obviously we need the full quotations in front of us, and maybe actually it's embargo. It's the embargo section, isn't it, Avi?
It is after the 10:30, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But you know what? I want every single guy who has actually gone for the last 24 hours saying it's Klopp's fault. Not even for the last 24 hours. I think they should come out. There's been some big accounts that have been really attacking Jurgen Klopp, saying he's a yes man. He's got too much control. This is not on FSG. This is on Klopp. They should come out and apologize to this man. How much more do you want him to come out and say? It's there in black and white. He goes, I have all the information around and I know what is possible and I know what is possible. And it's not exactly what I want. This is basically him telling us that he's got bosses that come around and, tell him that this is your budget and work under the sort of financial constraints of that budget. How can you actually blame this manager? We have a great manager. We have one of the best managers in the world, in our history. Like Avi said in regards to Salah, and put Klopp in that same bracket when it comes to leading our team. How can you say that this is on Klopp? He makes mistakes. He's not an angel, no doubt about it. He's probably too loyal, with some players. But Sarib, these are really, really telling quotations. With 6 days to go, with the transfer window shutting, I think this is very, very not symbolic, but this is a big moment in Liverpool's transfer window with 6 days to go.
Look, since the whole Caicedo saga happened, we have not been linked with one proper player. There's not been one target that we've been properly linked with, like what Lavio was linked with us for 2 odd months or whatever it was. There's always been names. I've seen Kamara, I've seen Douglas Luiz, I've seen Gravenberch, I've seen Doucoure. There's not been one person that's notably linked Like we're linked with a certain type of player. That was already a concern. We've sat there 12, 13 days ago. The Caicedo stuff happened. Now we've done absolutely nothing. 6 days to go to the window closing, and some of you lot wanted to give him to the end. You lot wanted to give the owners until the end of the transfer window to fix this. They've come out 6 days before the window ends to say we're not basically signing any more players. Klopp's hands are tied. But if you're Jurgen Klopp right now, yeah, why are you here? What are you doing here? For what are you doing? You want to spend money? The owners are not giving you the money. Go and walk. If Klopp walked right now in the next 5 minutes, are you going to blame him? Are any of you three going to blame him? Are the comment section going to blame him? I don't think so. He deserves a lot more. But like I said on a previous run, he is culpable for this because he needs to sometimes speak up a bit more, because we can't keep allowing stuff like this to happen every season. We as supporters and fans deserve a lot better than what we are being given, especially in the last month or so.
Avi, your best friend is actually in reference to me, but he says, but Asim, Klopp is partly to blame. He never refreshed the team for a number of seasons. Look, he's just telling you that his hands are tied.
But Asim, you have to ask the question: if we were prepared to go 110 for Caicedo, that gets knocked back, or he rejects us, and then we go back in for Lavia for 50, and we end up with getting Endo for 16 million, whatever it was. Where's the money gone? Where is the rest of the money? You can't tell me. He can't turn around and say there's no value in the market. There's no one out there. There are players out there. He's saying that he has all the information. If he has all the information, Klopp has just said that he has all the information. Why isn't he going for the players? We know that the money is there. There is a pot of money there for him to spend. So why isn't it being spent?
I mean, we don't know everything that's going behind the scenes. Now, we've gone for Caicedo.
Then, okay, so let's take his quote as of today and say, okay, maybe it's just, he's just speculating. Maybe we will do business. Because we don't hold on to every Klopp's words or quotations throughout the season, right? He says something and he does another, right? We've seen that in the past. This could be a ploy or whatnot. I don't know what kind of ploy it is. But look, we know, and look, I did a massive outrage towards the owners where I was screaming and shouting and saying that, listen, it's time for new owners. I went against the grain, because I've been supportive of the business that they've run in this football club and has made us successful. But listen, if his hands are truly tied, it also tells me about his ambition as well as manager, Asim. Surely season in, season out, if he's struggling to make ends meet, I tell you why it's an old chestnut, Asim. Because why is he deciding to play second fiddle to Man City every summer? Arsenal will take us over. Newcastle on the verge of taking us over. Make no mistake about it, the way they're recruiting. Very astute the way they're recruiting. Those are 3 teams. Chelsea, 4 teams that have got financial power who are starting to have that right structure in place as well. So what's he doing in the job if his hands are tied every summer?
Do you want him to simply walk? Is that what you're telling me?
I think there's better clubs out. Not better clubs. I think there's clubs out there that would give him the financial freedom that he deserves.
So you want him to walk then?
I don't know at this point. I really don't.
I mean,
I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him if he walked. Put it that way. I wouldn't blame him if he walked. Do I want him to walk? Of course not. I want him to fight for this club like we do, like every Saturday or Sunday when we're cheering them on. But if he walked, I would have no animosity towards him whatsoever.
It's easier said than done, boys, because I think Jurgen Klopp actually loves this club. He wants this club to do well. He's been here for 8 years. He's taken us from nowhere to somewhere within that span of time. Of course, you're going to bring some sort of loyalty to the club. That he loves the fans. He loves this club. You can see it. Every time he cheers a goal, you can see the happiness he has in his eyes. Every time he brings a player in, the way he greets the players makes them feel so welcome. Every time we win a game, he goes to the cop and he does that free the salute bump thing that he does, and he pats his chest because he loves this football club. He's so
how much more can you keep doing that year in, year out when your hands are tied? Ownership is needed. New ownership is needed. 100%. I'm not saying that. I am not here to defend FSG or be the ambassador. I've already said like FSG. Yeah, put it that way. FSG. 100%. But I don't know where we go from here. I don't know there is no plan. There's a big disparity in disengagement between the directors and the management, the sporting directors and the management, the owners and the management. This club is in a mess. It's in a mess, and it shouldn't have been this summer.
Before Cheen goes on his rant, I want to say something. Cheen, before you absolutely explode, because I can see it in your face, you're not happy, and I think all of us are the same. You speak about this Caicedo money, this £110 million. maybe the owners decided to fund that deal because they knew that deal was near enough impossible to do, just to get the fans back on board, to show that they have some sort of money. Maybe that was a blind deal they went for, just to kind of, reignite the fans and get them back on their sides. And when we didn't get the player, they can say, oh, the player wanted to go to Chelsea. That's not. I don't think that's what happened now, because I'm looking at it right now. If we're not going to sign a player that we were clearly wanted, a defensive midfield player, then what is going on? Because we clearly had the money, but this shows now that was just a blind deal to go and make. If we got Caicedo, they don't care if they didn't get Caicedo. They just wanted the fans to get back on board, because you saw the amount of rants and FSG stuff that was going on Twitter, all the rants that was happening from all sorts of YouTube accounts all over social media. And I genuinely think now they made that bid for Moises Caicedo because they knew that was an impossible deal to do. That's my opinion now. Because
no, but you can't say that, sorry. The bid was accepted, though. The bid was accepted.
Yeah,
the bid was actually accepted. Ornstein, everyone knew the bid was accepted. So you can't say that that was a phantom bid or that bid didn't exist. The bid was actually confirmed.
Of course,
they
didn't agree personal terms with Moises Caicedo. Liverpool don't do that. When we go sign a player, we agree personal terms with the player before we make the bid to the club. This time, we went to the club before we agreed personal terms with the player. There was already something wrong with the deal, and you could clearly see. And then what happened the next day?
It was wrong because it was out of the norm. We don't usually come in at the 11th hour. Usually, it's happened to us where a club comes in the 11th hour and nabs him from us. We came in at the 11th hour, and we all know Liverpool got played in that deal. We got played in that deal, right? But the money was there essentially to do a deal for Lavia, right? But going back to him, he said F off to us, basically. So where's that money gone? You can't tell me out of that 50 million that we had, or 60, 70 million, or 110 million that we have, it's only Ender and that's it. There's nothing else. You can't tell me that. Where's that money gone?
Listen,
Gene,
you put with that Gravenberch, Doucoure, André, Kone, transfers, fucking change that. Change it to FSG out. End of me. I've had enough. You put on the Steam today, we're linked to Gravenberch. Tell the flipping guys that put our Steams up to go back and change your FSG out. I have had enough, Asim. This is an absolute joke. These owners are giving to the end of this window. They've given us 6 days before this window closes. They've already come out with it saying, you know what, we're not going to buy any sort of player. Klopp did exactly the same thing in the last previous windows. And you know what people were saying? Don't worry. End of this window, it'll come. It didn't come. When Klopp speaks like this, Asim, 99% of the time it's the truth. We are not going to buy any footballer right now. So we need to accept that we are not going to buy any footballer right now, and nobody else is coming in. That's the simple truth. We've come on here previously, me, everybody else. You know what? In the previous year, we've been okay with the owners. We let them ride and said, you know what? Fine, no problem. This was the summer of change. This was the summer of rebuild. Where is it? Avi was the one that said, come on here right now, Avi. 1 second. Let me go before you interrupt me. You come on here and said, Klopp's been given money in the previously. He's got. You come on here today and said he's got money. He's not spending it. You said exactly the same thing to me 12 months ago, and you said he's got the money. He's not spent it. So every year, you said that to me last summer. Correct? Yes or no? You said that to me. Now you're saying exactly.
You mentioned something different. You're waffling again.
Avi, let him go.
Gather your thoughts. Gene, gather your thoughts.
Here saying. Klopp's got the money, he's not spending again. That's a load of bullshit. Klopp's he's never had money. That's the simple truth. They give him peanuts, they give him a certain amount of budget, and they say, listen, this is 80 million, go and get 3 players. What do you expect him to do? He can't do anything. And number one, I have had enough of these owners. It's time for these owners to go. I've had enough. This was the window to make a change. They haven't done jack shit. I'm sick to death of him. I've defended him all the time. I've sat here defending him. You know what? Give him time. Maybe this was the time. This is the time. We are a mess. This is a disaster. We're only 2-3 players short from challenging for the title. Why can't we go and spend some money for once? We're sat here, 111 million for Moises Caicedo. He spent 17 million. There's a 95 million or whatever the money's sat there. You're telling me we can't go and spend money. You're telling me Klopp does not want to go and spend money. That is a load of tosh. I don't believe any of that. I'm not going to sit here and go for Klopp. Yes, he's made mistakes with certain players. Yes, there's issues that he's had. We can accept that. Off the field, we're a joke. On the field, we're a joke. Financially, we're a joke. Our star players are being linked with going to Saudi. By the way, we all know Salah's not the only one. No, I'm not going to mention any names, but we all know he's not the only one being linked. There's other big players that the Saudis are coming for. And I'm not here trying to be no sort of ITK. These guys are a joke. If they go and they know one thing, any of the player that went now, it would have been anarchy. So you know what? They keep the player, play the game. This 111 million pound bid is an absolute tosh. We thought it made us happy at the time. Why didn't they go inside Lavia? Lavia didn't want to come. Okay, Lavia didn't want to come.
Gene, was it a PR stunt? Is that what you're saying?
It's all bullshit. I don't believe any of it. Because if it isn't, where's the money then? Where is the money? I cannot believe for 1 second you're willing to pay 111 million pounds for one player. So you're telling me there's no player in world football worth 95 million pounds right now that we can't go and spend? So I'm sorry, 95 million pound player. There's not one player in world football right now. Answer that one question.
Wachin, here's a question from Beat the Press. He says, I wouldn't get too carried away. If this conversation was taking place on the September 1st, then by all means, Avi hit the nail on the head. It's not the first time Klopp has said one thing and done another.
Okay, Beat the Press, I'll tell you one thing. When Jurgen Klopp has come out in the past when it concerns transfer windows, and this is why I'm flipping, in the transfer windows, when he's come out and said something like this, it was last January window, 4 or 5 days to go, when we were crying out for a midfielder, he came out and said something deep down. We knew we're not going to get a player. Last August, he said exactly the same thing, and I was praying, please be I'm praying that make sure it's untrue. It's not true. It was true. So when Jurgen Klopp comes out with something like this, guys, it's generally true. He's come out for a reason. He come out like last time. He said, "Look, I'm stuck. What do you want me to do? I want to take more risks. I can't take any risks." Did we sign any players? Even when he come out and said take more risks, did we take a risk? We didn't, because that's how it is. If it was a start of the window, I'd understand it. 1st of September right now is a load of bullshit. These come out now to calm us down, to say this to us right now, because it's the truth. We've got 5 days we had 5 or 6 days to basically save our season. That's what it was. We were 2 players short of challenging Man City, and with a supposed 95 million pounds sat there. Why can't you go and use that? We're 2 players short of challenging for a title.
But he has to rebuttal some of this stuff.
Man, this is a load of bullshit.
Rehan Khawaja, thank you very much for your super chat, Avi. You can take this, Sarib. He says Caicedo wasn't a PR stunt. The problem is with the model put in place by FSG when trying to buy players and the way the club values players. In terms of Lavia, we weren't prepared to press the button on him. We valued him around about 36, 37 million. We maybe thought in terms of his development, Sarib, he's at sort of the Stefan Bajcetic level. But in terms of Caicedo, we can go because we have a lot more trust in him. He's valued. In terms of whether he will spend 115 million.
Before Sarib goes, can you speak about Caicedo's value of 111 million? How many games has he played in the Premier League? He's played one half decent, one season, Asim. Yeah. That's all it is. Really been.
But in terms of the analytics, he probably come up with a lot better numbers. Yes, he's got about 40 games or so under his belt. But in terms of where he's at, in terms of level, they thought, you know what, this guy is probably safer to go big on. They got the go ahead. I don't think those 3 names. Who are they? Caicedo, Lavia, and Kamara came out from the data team, and maybe they thought, you know what, Caicedo we're willing to go on, whether it was a PR stunt or not. But in terms of someone like Doucoure, they're just not willing to go 15, 20, 30 million more than what they value him at.
If you don't think that Caicedo deal was a PR stunt, I don't know what you're talking. It's absolutely a PR stunt. Let me tell you why. Yeah. Because if it wasn't, why didn't we go and sign him and try to sign him early in the window? If we clearly had the money to go and sign him, why didn't we go and try to get him early then? Why not?
No, but we've been on a show before, so just to interrupt that, but we've said that money came from Fabinho and Hendo. That bid that apparently now, maybe it was a fan bid that went in, that was confirmed, that was the money that was collected from Hendo and Fabinho, and we topped up by about 50 million, say, for the 110 million.
That's fine. Fabinho and Henderson. When did Fabinho and Henderson reported for pre-season day 1? When did players report back to pre-season? Tell me. Fabinho was not even in pre-season. You're telling me from that point onwards to 2 weeks ago, it's not a big enough gap to go and sign a player, go try sign someone. Did you really think that we couldn't go and get Caicedo earlier when basically the deals were confirmed like ages ago for Henderson and Fabinho? They were complete ages ago. There was some delays with the Fabinho deal. But you're telling me from when Fabinho left Liverpool to when we bid for Caicedo, there was not a big enough gap between those two? Of course there was. It's absolutely a PR stunt. Caicedo agreed personal terms with Chelsea in May. So we went on the final hour when Chelsea decided they're not going to pay 100 million for Moise Caicedo. Oh, Liverpool magically spawn 111 million when they've done nothing for the whole transfer window to go and bid for a player that's already wants to move to someone else. Oh, how is that not PR stunt? There was no personal terms agreed with Caicedo. Even Klopp, he said, "Oh yeah, the club."
Sorry, to come back at you with that one. If it wasn't a PR stunt, Why would FSG or Liverpool as a club bid 111 million? Because the bids, I think Chelsea bid it twice or three times, and the bid was around 75, 80 million for Caicedo, or maybe 90 million. Why? They could have easily gone for 95 million. Why 111 million?
I genuinely believe.
Let him go first.
Go on, Chinchi. Go on.
No, I want you to go because it was your question.
I
Why
genuinely
111? Tell me.
I genuinely believe that they knew that deal was already going to Chelsea. Now I don't know John W. Henry's relationship with the Chelsea owners. Now I don't know if they're close, they're not close, but okay, let's per se that Todd Bowley and John W. Henry, they're both American, they both own gargantuan football clubs in the Premier League. You're telling me some phone calls may not have happened behind the scenes about Moises Caicedo? Oh,
come on, that's far-fetched. That's a fairy tale story from Harry Potter.
We're sitting here and debating this Moises Caicedo stuff because we have been left.
Come on, football doesn't. You can't assume. Okay, you think Jurgen Klopp's that kind of manager to say, "Oh, you know what? Let's go and play this Monopoly game and let's go and say, let's just put this phantom bid in for Caicedo, knowing that we're not going to get him." No, come on, football doesn't work like that. Come on, Sarib.
No, but Avi, we don't know. I don't even know that myself. That's why I'm trying to make up theories. I'm trying to make up like suggestions to justify why we going for Caicedo so late. I'm trying to think of reasons. That's another reason.
I'll give you a reason why the deal is not going to get completed. I'll give you a reason. You can make under £11 million bid are you going to agree personal terms? We knew deep down if the agent has come to us in terms of the personal terms. One second, you can make it a bid of 250 million and the clubs are going to accept it. The personal terms are what matters. If the personal terms are not agreed with the player, and we were never going to play a player of Caicedo's ilk at that time at 250 grand, we saw Chelsea, I don't know what they're paying, just say they're paying him 200 grand. You think we were going to get Moises Caicedo 200 grand a week? No chance. That's what was always going to be the stumbling block. They knew deep down because Moises Caicedo, if he's got an agreement already in place with thingy, you think we were going to pay his agent fees? We're not going to do that. Yes, in the past we've paid agent fees, and I can accept that. But in terms of the personal terms, we were not going to pay Moises Caicedo 200 plus grand a week.
Avi, was there a feeling amongst FSG that what these boys are saying, that they knew that Chelsea had this guy boxed off? 2-3 months of groundwork. We've used the word, sort of in our Liverpool transfer talk, but other clubs use the word as well. And they had this player boxed off, and he gave his word. Whether he gave his word to Arsenal and then later went to Chelsea, but Chelsea had him boxed off, and they were calm even when that Athletic article sort of painted the perfect picture in terms of how they felt when the Liverpool bid came in. They were fairly relaxed because they knew they had the player boxed off. So was this a pure PR stunt of Henry, your uncle, coming over to London, Billy Hogan taking over the deal over Joe Shamatka to portray a picture of we are serious, we're here, we want the player? But then, like Gene says, where the hell is the money at the moment? And Beat the Press makes a good point. We have to caveat all this conversation. There's 6 days to go and there's still time to put things right. But as things stand, Liverpool are in trouble, Avi, and serious trouble.
And look, I'm going to stay very tight-lipped until the 31st of August. And then I really will unleash my true feelings about what's going on at this football club and the ownership. But I think that was one of the most embarrassing. You're going to let me finish or not? You're going to let me either finish or not? You've spoken for like 10 minutes, yeah? Like a foghorn. Carried on. I didn't interrupt, okay? You told me to keep shut. I didn't keep shut. Listen, Asim, just coming on to this, that what we did in the Caicedo deal was very unlike Liverpool. We've never done that kind of deal where we've come at the 11th hour. Diaz, when we got him from Spurs, that wasn't even an 11th hour deal. We came in because we liked the player, but we had to hurry up because there were talks of Spurs getting him in January instead of the summer. Right? On to this was one of the most embarrassing moments in the Caicedo deal that I can remember at Liverpool. Going in last minute, knowing that Chelsea will come back and gazump us. There were these telltales about FFP. Chelsea got to do this, to that, to get to Liverpool, to match Liverpool's bid. No, they didn't. They matched Liverpool's bid and some. Caicedo gave his word to Chelsea. That was good enough for me. He was never going to come. Yes, we all got excited when Ornstein and Joyce confirmed that we're in talks with Caicedo after the bid getting accepted. Like we should be. We will all be excited. But what's gone on after that and prior to that, it's nothing short of shocking. And it comes back on the ownership, Asim. Like, where is that money gone? You can't tell me the ownership have said, okay, you've got Endo now. We need to keep this money because of, I don't know, tax reasons or the financial restrictions coming up this year, or we've got to show something, a certain amount to the accounts. That's all bullshit. That will come back to the ownership. I think the sporting director who was appointed, George Shamatke, whoever is responsible for that, needs a loud word against them, and need to be exposed for that as well, because he's here on a 3-month trial, Asim. A club of Liverpool stature should not be hiring sporting directors on an interim period. We shouldn't be. They shouldn't be here for a 2-3 month stint. That's not how big clubs act. That's not how they behave. So it's a shit show all over. But like I said, I'm going to remain very tight-lipped until the 31st of August. If no one has come in through those doors, a reputable signing has walked through those doors, then Putter, yeah, it is all fires against the ownership.
But Avi, look, I understand that, and I've been sort of, saying, expressing the same point. But Avi, look where we are at the moment. We don't even look close to signing someone. Today, the manager said that ideally, yeah, we need 6, 7, 8 centre backs.
But then we're getting fooled by journalists. Then why are the likes of Joyce, Pearce, everyone saying, oh, Doucoure, Gravenberch, we like Doucoure, but we won't offer more than 60, 70. Then we're getting fed lies as well. So of course we're going to get excited by the links of André, likes of these players. But then, like, what do you want us to do, Asim?
No one has a clue. No one has a clue.
Like, you can't say to me, oh, but Avi, like, we've been linked with these players. It's the fucking journalists' fault. It's their fault that I keep relaying information to us, saying that,
why is it
we like this player, we like that player, we're scouting him, it's Gravenberch. See, Christian Folk today saying that, Bayern are ready to let him go. Like, why give us hope then? Either we don't read them and just assume we're not going to sign anyone, or we keep on doing what we're doing.
I mean, they're going to relay the information that they're given by the clubs. Whether it's a selling club or the buying club, they're going to just put it in the papers. They have to sell something. So you can't blame the journalists for it. They just relay information that they've been given. So look, I don't know, man. 6 days. But Avi, my point to you is you have to understand the situation right now. You've been saying to us all along, Avi, that the manager needs to come out and be vocal. How much more vocal do you want him to be? He's categorically said that, you know what, my hands are tied. I've been given the information, and maybe, look, we have to sort of speculate with these sort of things. Maybe they've said, look, we'll go for Caicedo, but we're not paying the money for Lavia. We're not paying the money for Gravenberch. We're not paying the money for Doucoure because we simply we don't rate these guys. So these guys who have been accusing for Klopp being a dictator, a yes man, we're having too much control on the sort of signings. He's been letting go of Edwards. He's been letting go of Julian Ward. These guys have had no say, and that's why they've left. All these conspiracies have fell flat on their ass tonight. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but Asim, I do honestly, I do believe that there were kind of maybe a small rift between Edwards and Klopp. I don't think that's.
Come on, man. There's always
everything else is a conspiracy. Then everything is you say, he say, or disagree to agree. That's what it is. Look, Joyce said it fairly that Jordan Henderson, Edwards had another idea. He had an idea of bringing Bruno Guimaraes, and who was the other player that he mentioned? I always forget. Bruno Guimaraes, and there was another player that he wanted to bring in.
Which journalist?
Joyce, when he said that, the plan was Henderson not to renew Henderson's contract, but to bring in a Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon, and there's another player anyway. I mean, Joyce wouldn't spew rubbish like that. Joyce is very much clubs. Enzo Fernandez, there you go, for 10, 15 million. Joyce is very much the club's mouthpiece. Yeah, he won't just speculate for the sake of speculating. Now, if you think about it in hindsight, it would have made sense that, listen, Edwards is going to Klopp and say, listen, I think Henderson's time is done. The data suggests that his legs will fail him now. Let's get rid of him. Let's not give him another 3-4 year contract. And let's go and get a Enzo. Let's go and get a Bruno Guimaraes. We're sitting here now, as of today, on the 24th or 25th of August. We would take Enzo in our midfield now. We would have taken him last year. We would have taken Bruno Guimaraes last year, or even 2 years ago. So there has been some kind of disengagement. That's why Edwards left. I'm not saying it's purely on Klopp, by the way. It could have been that, look, FSG are saying, we haven't got the money for you to do your data analytical or find these players for 30-40 million. We need you to work under stricter constraints, maybe look at 5-10 million signings, right? The same with Julian Ward. Julian Ward would not have left 6 months into his tenure. It was his dream job to be a sporting director at Liverpool Football Club. He left within 6 months. He's considering offers at Nice or Ajax. He's considered offers from them this summer, since January. Nice and Ajax. You're not telling me that they're on the same ball playing field as Liverpool Football Club.
Avi, I just want to go on. We, as fans now, we have to protest. There is no other option. Look, in 2021, it was 2021, where they tried to make a Super League, yeah? What did the fans go and do? They went and protest. John W. Henry came out, made a video, an apology video, and Liverpool shipped themselves out of the Super League. I am telling you right now, there's been no proper protest since 2021. We as fans have to unite as one now and do everything we possibly can to make sure that we have the best future for our football club. This is absolute garbage. I'm tired of this. I am tired. Protesting works. We've seen it works. They tried to get us into the Super League. We as fans protested during COVID times to get us out of the Super League. He came out, made a video of apology. Cool, it's not something massive, but at least we got some sort of clarity behind it. Why can't we do the same thing? And he comes out and says, this is the reason, this is the reason, just to leave the fan base with some sort of clarity, because we have none of it. We're sitting here making up conspiracy theories. So John W. Henry and Todd Bowley are making up calls. I don't want to be sitting there telling you that. I want to tell you facts, not opinions. This is a joke.
Look, I'll be honest with you, Asim. You know, the FSG, we've known for a long time that these guys basically don't have it in them to take us to the next sort of level because of what the modern football's changed now. Either you spend crazy money to stay at the highest sort of level, or you get out. It's as simple as that. If you're owning a football club as a stature of Liverpool Football Club, you have to go and spend dough to stay at that sort of level. Why? Because the teams around you are spending stupid money. Either you accept that, you know what, we ain't one of the biggest clubs in the world and that we're a mediocre club, fine. Or you have owners who are good enough to go toe to toe with the let's say the richest clubs in the world, because the richest clubs in the world are exactly the biggest. We've known that. The likes of Man City, Chelsea, these guys, they're not the biggest clubs in the world, if you ask me, but they've got the money. So that's why we have to try to aspire to that sort of level. The owners have taken us to this is the furthest that they can take us. It was actually the first year and a half ago where we thought, you know what? Well, we Liverpool fans, we still gave them time thinking, you know what, guys? Okay, you did make it work 7 or 8 years ago when you came in. There was money ball football teams then. But the money ball, it worked. We went to the top pinnacle of world football with this actual project. But we're at a stage right now that this is not working. Our recruitment, why we were successful, because our recruitment 5 or 6 years ago was spot on. Our recruitment now is shambolical. Why? Because we haven't bought in the right players at the right time. We're missing out on the deals where we used to play for 40, 50 million pound players and turning them into world stars. We don't have that anymore. We've lost out. Our sporting directors was arguably Edwards was the best in the world at that time. We don't have him anymore. We've got somebody who's he's on a flipping sabbatical, if you ask me, because he's done nothing since he's been here. That's number one, Schmatteker. So what you have to understand right now is where we are as a football club. We are not 7 years ago where this project is going to work. It's not working. The only way right now is we're going to go down. I can't see any way. The owners have to sell up. They've been looking for an investment. First, we were told last October that these owners are going to sell. Right? Fine. Everybody went quiet. Then we're told investments coming. Okay, we still went quiet. Okay, investments come in, summer will come. Hopefully the investment will come and we'll go and spend. No problem. We still went quiet. Bellingham was supposed to come. We said, okay, Bellingham, you didn't buy last summer. We still give you the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because you did good things for us a few years ago. You made the project work. So we allowed them time. I'm sorry. This was the summer where they had to make changes. 56 million pound net spend this summer, in the summer of change, guys. That is what we are on right now. This is
Gina comment by Anfield Road and Klopp chased away Edwards and Ward. Beshadam saw too many worship Klopp like a god. FSG, Klopp both need to move on. Is that a bit harsh on Klopp, Saj?
Look, personally, I'm not going to sit here and defend Jurgen Klopp to the ground. Jurgen Klopp, we all know, has made mistakes. Avi's mentioned it with the Hendo thing. There's other things that Jurgen Klopp's made mistakes. He's a manager. He's going to make mistakes. No manager in world football is perfect. Right? And but what you have to understand is the book lies with the owners. And we've always, every Liverpool fan has known that the book lies with the owners. I don't think Jurgen Klopp would have made these mistakes that he's made, given if he was backed 4 or 5 years ago and he knew, you know what, I've got 150 million pounds to spend every summer, where I can go and bring in 2 big players like a Pep Guardiola does. Like what does Pep do? He goes and spends 150 million always on 2 players. If Jurgen Klopp was allowed to do even something like that, we wouldn't even be. He wouldn't have even made these mistakes, because why? He would have gone. These crap players that we've got, we would have got rid of them. Gone. At least we're bringing in but what we had to try and sell these players Try. What does Man City do? They get rid of him. If not good enough, look at Cancelo. He had a decent. He played well. He was arguably one of their best fullbacks. 3 months didn't play well, out the door. They're buying a goalkeeper, not good enough, out the door. This is what it is. You have to be able to do that. Klopp wasn't given the tools 5 years ago. That's why he's making mistakes 3 years later on down the line. This is what it is. So when people start banging Klopp, he is not the problem. The problem started 4 years ago, and this is where we are right now. That's why he's making all these mistakes. If you backed him 4 or 5 years ago, when we backed him with 150 million every summer, you think Klopp would have made these mistakes? Answer that question. Seriously.
No, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have made mistakes. You know, you would be fine. Take a breathe now. Take your inhaler. Please come on. Breathe. Craig Naker. I want to address this. FSG PR gurus. Avi keeps eating the poison apple. If you heard me 2 weeks ago, I actually went on the owners. I went against the grain. I have stopped supporting them, but I'm gonna hold very tight until the 31st of August before I really do a full 360 on them, like Gina's done. Although Gina's always been impartial, he's never been FSG in or out. So yeah, we'll go on from there. But guys, listen, there's 455 of you guys here, ladies, women, men, boys. Please like and subscribe. You're supporting us as a channel. We are going to give you this kind of content, late hours, late nights, where everyone's comments will be shown, as much as we can. But yeah, please like and subscribe. On our way to 7K, then 10K after that. Thank you. Sorry, Asim.
There was a super chat. I think Ash. Klopp. Thank you very much, Ash. Klopp. Where's it gone?
What are you doing? Leave the comments to me, innit? You stick to hosting.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me, by the way. It was Gene playing around, I think. Gene, you're on mute. He says Klopp has too much control, apparently. But he trusted the analytics teams with Caicedo and Lavia, and Klopp balls it up. We get told there's funds, but look at Klopp's comments. Ask yourself, if you're Salah, why stay? Sarib, if you're Salah, you've been sort of loaded as a guy looking for championship, looking for so driven by records and trophies. I think there was a funny video of him about a couple of weeks ago. And this guy is so driven in terms of reaching the heights of, elite football in terms of records and trophies and personal record achievements as well. That FPL, EPL, whatever you call it, that fantasy league. And he said the highest, who's your captain every week, is Mohamed Salah. Who's your most assists? Mohamed Salah. And you do see the sort of funny side of these sort of things. Well, there's an inner belief of this guy thinking he can beat everyone to every single record. And it just shows you what type of player he is. And if you're that type of player, you're all of a sudden, Liverpool have gone on the brink of quadruple to Europa League Thursday night football in the space of a season. And if you're Salah, you're thinking, you know what? I'm 31, 32 now. How long have I got at the top? I'm already not as quick. I can't. He runs past players because he was absolutely lightning. But he's not the same old Salah of 2-3 years ago. So why should these sort of players stick around? We've seen Van Dijk and Konate and many other players come out and said, we need signings, we need help. They've got Szoboszlai, they've got McAllister, but they need more. And if your manager on the eve, I don't want to say on the eve of the window closing, but if you've got your manager 6 days before the window shuts saying, my hands are tied, surely the alarm bells are ringing.
Yeah, you have to do.
For me now, I don't want to say any more about the owners, any more about the players. I don't want to say anything about the ambition. But if I'm Mohamed Salah and the Saudi bid comes in, I'm going. Like you made a very good point. Liverpool were challenging for a quadruple for 15 months ago. So a year ago now, yeah. We're going into a season now. We're in the Europa League. We were in the Champions League. So we were the second best team in Europe. We made the Champions League final of 2022. So before last season began, we were the second best team in Europe. We signed Darwin Núñez, Arthur Melo. I can't even remember. I genuinely can't remember.
Calvin Ramsey.
Yeah, Calvin Ramsey. He's gone on loan now. If I'm Mohamed Salah, no disrespect to those players, but if I'm looking at the players that are coming in, for the players like Sadio Mane, who's been elite, top of his game, when we could have signed players like an Asim, like I don't know who's unavailable on the market. But look, Asim, that ilk of players. If I'm looking at Mohamed Salah and seeing all my rivals around me, the likes of Arsenal, likes of Man City, pulling Haaland out, I'm looking at this thinking, wow, why am I here? At what cost? This is the team that we're supposed to be challenging for, and we're signing. I'm not disrespecting the players we sign because I think they're good players, but there's a level of players, world class, and there's good players. We are a world class. We have world class expectations, but the players that we're signing don't match that. I think Salah's expectations and the ambition of Liverpool is very, very different. And I don't blame Salah. I don't blame Salah. Years and years of mediocrity. He can see it. As if us fans can see the direction the club's headed in, imagine the players at the club. Imagine how they feel. You can see players are coming out saying, "We need more. We need more. You need more." You're at a training facility every single week. You are watching what's going on. You can clearly understand the club a lot better than us because you are at the club. If I'm Mo Salah, my motivation will be in the gutter. Years and years of being slapped around. I would walk generally. I don't blame him if he goes. I will clap the guy off if he goes because I don't blame him. He's done everything he wants to do. He maybe wants more and he maybe should have got more, but he hasn't. And that can decrease motivation for a lot of players.
But Sarib, is this a start or have we started seeing some cracks between the relationship of Klopp and FSG?
I think the cracks have been there for years. It's just that we were delivering on the football pitch, which is why those cracks were easily covered up. Now
he's always made just coming on that. He's always made subtle comments to Asim every so summer, every so January. He does say that, look, I work within a project. I work within this budget, and I'm happy to be here. You know, and I can't go beyond that. I can't spend I can't spend out of that reach, you know, or within my means. I've got to keep it all in-house, and we have a structure here in place. That structure has cracked. They've not papered over anything this summer. That structure has actually cracked. It's broken. There is no structure. You don't hire a man to come in as sporting director who's been retired for 3 months, and you know when he goes in September, October, he'll be the fallback guy. It'll be like he failed. You know, the owners are trying to deflect blame here, but believe you me, we're a very smart fan base. You know, we've ousted out the Gillettes and the Hicks fan pressure, and obviously the banks calling it in as well on them, right? If we have to, there will be drastic action against the ownership of this football club.
Gene, have you calmed down?
Yeah, I'm right, man.
He now looks deflated, but even I feel sorry for him today.
You know, it's not just about feeling sorry for me, Avi. No, honestly, like, look, if anything, I've defended these owners. This is the thing that pisses me off. I've defended them thinking, you know what, give them time. They're going to come right. You know, we said we'll give them another summer. And this was supposed to be, and, you know, with all due respect, Jurgen Klopp, although everything was all rosy a month ago, we all felt as though, you know, when the Szoboszlai and Matt came in, we actually felt for once that, you know what, the two, we were the only two, we were the first club to get two over the line. I think it's just about, I genuinely believe that we were going to actually go for a title till. I thought we were going to go for it. And then, you know, since then, it's just been shambolic. From then on till right now, everything is backfired in every sort of way. And you sat here now thinking, bloody hell, a month and a half ago, we thought we were going to go for the bloody title.
Al Ittihad's top journalist is making wild claims this evening that Mohamed Salah will be a Saudi federal player within 48 hours.
Make of that what you will.
Don't know how true that is. That has been posted by our good friend Moby, who's been on the show before. He just tweeted something.
What is it with BNR live shows and breaking news? If things are quiet, we should go live because we get breaking news.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't think we got this Caicedo news, didn't we? Once we were thinking so. I was gonna say with the bearers of bad news right now, so I'm not really gonna be exactly, you know, chirping away like I'm happy. This is all this hard.
It's definitely not good going into the Newcastle game on Sunday. You know, look, I still believe we will make a signing, at least one signing. I still I still have that. I have that positive outlook that I think we will still pull the trigger on one, but it's not good. Going to a big game against Newcastle, which it has become a big game. It's become a game of, Newcastle will be title contenders within a couple of years. But it's a big game between the top teams. The energy around it has been very, very negative. Like, you know, the thing that gets if we lose, God help you guys who've got to do the show on Sunday. You know, I'll be on my flight sipping on my gin and tonic, but God help you guys. God help the comments, because Gene will be going all out. I just want to say, look, a week ago, we were all saying two players are going to, two. That was the name.
Then
Now
Jurgen
we'll
Klopp-
settle for. Now, do you know we'll settle for a loan signing now?
Arthur.
Avi, this is how the play does. No, this is what I'm getting at. Then Jurgen Klopp comes out. We don't need a centre back. Then this morning I'm thinking, bloody hell, we're going to only bring one in, and it felt like we're only going to bring one sort of player in. Now this happens, flipping 6 hours later, and you think, are we going to bring anyone in? And this is what I'm saying: is they've killed our confidence in signing any players, and we will right now come towards the end of the window. We will be happy to get one player in, and when that one player comes, us fickle fans are going to be sat here saying, yeah, we signed a footballer. Because little did we know 3 weeks ago, it was nowhere near enough. But because they've killed our excitement and all of this, we're going to be sat, and we're just happy that anybody comes in right now. And it's sad. That's a sad state of affairs that Liverpool Football Club's in right now.
If Mohamed Salah, I tell you what will happen. There'll be this sort of pressure from Al Ittihad again, from the Saudi world, pushing for Salah. The narrative has already been, you can already see the narrative. He'll end up staying, and it will be some kind of celebration that Salah is staying, and he's loyal to Liverpool. He's said no to Saudi. There are players out there that are honest and have said no to Saudi because they want to achieve greatness with Liverpool Football Club. That is a kind of narrative only this club would spin on us. Only our club that would spin that kind of PR on us.
But this narrative, you go on.
You talk about spin. You do know the day. Another thing I bring out, I just remembered the day we bid for Caicedo. Do you remember what was trending on Twitter? FSG was trending on Twitter. The same day, Asim, it was all over. Why? Because Lavia bid Chelsea. There was news that Chelsea have bid 48 million for him plus for Lavia that day. So guess what happened? That was the day Liverpool fans were going nuts in FSG out. And then all of a sudden, 111 million popped up from God knows where. And a bid went in. This is why I'm not a big fan of it. Because this is why when people say to me, it's funny, isn't it funny that it comes that bid came out the day FSG's out trending on Twitter? People say to me, it wasn't a publicity, it was a genuine bid and all that. You do the maths. Guys, you guys are clever enough to understand what the game that's being played. I'd understand if the game wasn't played over the last 4 years and this was one instance it happened. I'd understand and say,
Bachin. Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
You're devil's advocate today, Asim. Just today is all about.
I have to play because we give both sides of the argument. We try to portray, we express our own opinion, but we try to game because there's a lot of people saying, look, no, it was a genuine bid. And
the day FSG out is trending on Twitter. When have you ever? Come on, Asim. Do we think we did right? It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. All of a sudden, like this. Bang like this. 111. One second. 111 popped up, and as soon as the deal finishes, it's just gone. It's finished. We don't have no money.
But doesn't Jurgen Klopp have an obsession of making the perfect signing?
Oh, perfect signing, yeah. Just like the perfect signing of Jude Bellingham, where we waited 2 years to sign the perfect player that we've been told.
You lose out on some, just like we lost out on Caicedo.
Lose out on some. We're going to be fine for trying to
get. He's waited for the likes of Caicedo, Van Dijk.
If you go back in time, Mane, he wanted Brand in front of Mane. He wanted Götze in front of Salah, or vice versa, and we got the second option. You can't say wait. But yes, he's very particular, especially that window when we brought in Ben Davis and Ozan Kabak. We wanted Konate. Leipzig weren't going to do a deal in that January. So we confirmed Konate, bus correctment. Please have some manners. We confirmed Konate in March, right? And then he came the following season. There is an element of what you're saying, Asim, 100%. Yeah, but at the end of the day, this falls back with the owners again.
But Achin, I'm going to come back on to you in terms of I was only playing devil's advocate. I'm with you. But what I heard from the manager today, from the press conference, I'm annoyed at him. I'm pissed off at him. Why? Because if you're going to take those comments about a centre-back literally from Jurgen Klopp, then I think he's just wrong. He's pissed me off today thinking we've got covered. How are we covered in the back line? Our first team in terms of Trent, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson is as good as anything in the world football. But in terms of quality, we talk about our attack, our front five. We've been saying so many times on so many shows, as a collective, that in front five, they're one of the best in the world. Go back to your defense. But in terms of depth and quality and strength in sort of versatility and adaptability, it's just not good enough. We've got Konate, who's big, and we got big muscles, but he just simply, once a month, he's out. So how do we have someone like Matip and Gomez, which we'll see this weekend, covering the big man? Are they good enough? Are they durable enough? No. So how are we covered in the back line? And then he went on to say, we need to be lucky. We need to be lucky. He went on to say, we need to be lucky with injuries. When has that served us well? So is that the owners or Jurgen Klopp as a manager saying we're all right in the back line?
Okay, listen to me now. I am not gonna look. We all know we needed a centre back, right? We all know. I've been calling out for a centre back. I wanted a midfielder and a centre back even before we signed Endo. I said, you know what? Forget two midfielders. Give me a midfielder and a centre back, because I genuinely believe our centre backs are not good enough. Van Dijk's 31. All three of my injury prone. We signed Endo, and I thought, you know what? This is a very clever signing from Liverpool. Why they're being clever with this, Asim, is because they signed a player that has played in centre back and he can play midfield. He's basically
no.
Believe you me,
Endo is not because of the back line. It's because of midfield. Endo has been brought for midfield, not because of versatility in the back line. He might get some games there, no doubt.
This is what I'm saying. It's clever tactics, isn't it? You're covering your back, this sort of thing. This is what I'm getting at. Yeah, he's primarily brought into player 6. But if these players get injured, let's say, because they're always injured, Konate's injured, Matip's injured, Gomez injured, who's going to play there? Endo is. Why? Because it was a clever move. For 17 million quid, they got 2 players. It was a clever Liverpool move. Now we don't need a centre back, because that 100. Now they can go and turn around and say we don't need one because you've already signed one. It's clever tactics, Asim. This is why I'm paid off with the owners. We got 195 million pound sat there supposedly. We can't find one player worth 95 million. I don't understand. Because you were willing to pay 111 for one player. Explain to me why we cannot.
I believe Jurgen Klopp.
I believe I can fly. Sorry.
I believe Jurgen Klopp. I genuinely think Jurgen Klopp doesn't think we need a centre back, especially in that left-sided centre back. I hope I'm wrong. And the next 6 days we bring someone like Hinsapi or
Did you want Colville? Yes or no?
60, 70 million. Again, you talk about PR. We've been linked. You say Caicedo was never a realistic signing. So was Colville.
11 million, Asim, yeah? Okay.
So was Colville. He's never realistic.
Who? Colville. We need a centre back, left-sided centre back though. He was seen as the.
Was he realistic? Was he a really realistic option for us?
Of course, Asim, 70 million pounds. If Chelsea. That's fine. At that time, because he was at Brighton, he was leaving, there was a chance we could have got him. What I'm trying to say is there's a chance we could have got him.
There's a chance for Caicedo.
Oh, yeah, 111 million. Caicedo, Chelsea had him boxed off for 6 months. And, by the way,
he's Chelsea's player.
200 grand a week. My dad going to pay 200 grand a week.
Shanti, between you two.
And he's Chelsea's player. The only reason why Liverpool thought there's a chance for Caicedo is because Brighton wanted Caicedo. Let me finish. Brighton wanted Caicedo as part of the Caicedo deal. And Chelsea said, no, we're not going there. And that's why there was a stalemate for 3-4 months, because Chelsea thought we know how to deal with Brighton, because we've dealt with Brighton before in Cucurella, in Graham Potter. They know Brighton have a price. Once you pay, it's fine. In terms of Colville, they were trying to use him as a tool.
Million it's funny then how the price went from 70, 80 to 111.
Liverpool increased the price. Liverpool increased the price, just like we increased the price for Lavia. We ended up paying ourselves.
Increasing the price for 5 or 6 million is not a big deal when you're dealing with transfers like this. Increasing the price from 80 to 111 million, there's a big difference.
Which proportion, isn't it? That was around about 36 million, our first bid, and it went up to about 58. So it went up to about 22 million.
30, Asim,
our first bid was 36.
Om Shanti. Okay, the guys.
They wanted 150 million pound for him, man, at that time.
Who did?
This is.
Southampton always said we wanted around the 150 million pound mark for him.
But our first bid was 36.
Exactly, 36 and 50.
Look, let's end. Look, we've still got to quickly do predictions, but let's end it on this. Gene, do you believe Liverpool will sign a player before the end of the window? Yes or no?
In a crazy way, I think the backlash that these guys are going to get, and this is the truth, the backlash that these guys are going to get over the next 4 to 5 days is very clever tactics. Yeah, they will go out of the blue and sign a player, because they did that with the Soboslai. They did the same with the. This is what they do. You know what? For once, I hope they don't, and I hope the fans go for them, because they effing deserve it, these owners.
We need to check up on Sarib, man.
Gene, calm down now, please. Kids are watching. Sarib, Liverpool, have they got one more signing in them before the end of the window? Yes or no? Asim?
We bring in 2.
Liverpool will definitely bring a player in. Not alone, they will definitely bring a transfer in before the end of the window.
Oh.
Anyway, Shanti Rako, listen, it's been a very, very good show. We've got to do a quick prediction show.
The Newcastle game.
Over an hour of everyone.
Yeah,
I'll take over a little bit. Listen, he's got a BNI hoodie. Where's our hoodie, by the way?
He ordered it himself.
After an hour, I've realized, what was he wearing? Is he wearing a fake Gucci or whatnot? But it's a BNI, it's a born and red hoodie. Where's our hoodies? Mine, Sarib's.
I've got such a dry throat. I had a bit of a cough, but Avi, you know me. I've been head of quality control. This is just a sample where I ordered. I've been playing around, so I checked it out. The print is actually very, very good. It's very, very good. But now I've checked it out and I'm happy with it. You'll be, if you're good, it's a performance-based system at BNR. If you're good, you perform, you get a hoodie through the post. Is that fair enough?
Have you got mine as well?
Boys.
Mine as well. In the back.
Is someone trolling us? Is someone trolling us now? Is someone trolling us or what?
We'll have to check, won't we?
He's trolling us, man. Of course he's trolling, man. You're right. He's not
No, you have to check everything these days.
How do we ban users like this for an hour or something? God's sake. Anyway, guys, listen, we got Newcastle. We got Newcastle on Sunday. Gene, your prediction, goal scorers, if you see us scoring. Your prediction for the Newcastle game.
Listen, can I go get a drink?
Yeah, you got enough time.
Shooting shop now.
We've got so much to discuss.
Now
We're going to do a quick prediction.
I don't want to talk about
All
Newcastle.
right. I'll stay. Just in case Gene has to host one.
Gene, Newcastle.
You know what? I gave a prediction today of 2-1 Liverpool win because I just think, I actually felt, what I felt? If we win that game, hopefully 6 days, we bring 1 or 2 in. I genuinely believe the title was on. And maybe I'm stupid for me to think I've always backed the team. Yeah, and I'll always back. That's just the way it is. But right now, man, I ban this guy, man, Mr. Beast, peeing me off with the flipping Ornstein thing, man. I mean,
listen, you idiot, Mr. B, can you please change your... Don't ban them. What are you banning him for?
I'm banning him. I mean, Brady took that timer on him.
All right, you said 2-1 Liverpool. You said 2. Are you sticking with that 2-1?
I said it in the morning, so I'm not exactly going to can't change it now, can I?
Okay, we've just got a super chat from our ever-present Adin Tariq. Thank you for tuning in. It always feels like our team hasn't felt complete. There's always been that feeling we're 1 or 2 short. When the defense was tight or our attack wasn't. Now the attack is tight, our defense isn't tired. Very well put, sir. Very well put.
100%.
Got some 5-1s from Hamza Ajaz. Ajaz, I think he's going with 5-1.
5-1? Is that to Newcastle?
I think it is. It's a home score line, so it must be 5-1 to Newcastle.
So the problem is, Avi, sorry, Sarib, is where we are on and off the pitch. I would not be surprised if we get battered 5-1 or we win 3-4-1 as well. We could outscore any team in the world, but we could leak about 4 or 5 goals in the space of 30 minutes as well. And that's where we're at the moment. I'm going up to Newcastle on Sunday afternoon with no clue as which Liverpool is going to turn up. I'll be honest with you. Especially we're playing with 3 mid players in midfield, especially a ground like Newcastle, where you need to roll your sleeves up. This is the first time our 3 are going to play in midfield. Endo is going to be at the base of the pivot alongside Szoboszlai and McAllister. McAllister, however, is going to be where he's supposed to be and playing in this attacking advanced areas. But I honestly think, I hate when someone asks me, would you take a draw right now? Maybe when it's 3-3 with about 10 minutes to go, I take a draw. I always ask Gene that question when we're Liverpool are, backs to the wall, and we will suffer. We will suffer for, I'd say 10, 15 minutes, but sometimes it's even longer than that. We suffered with 10 men, let's be honest, last season when Newcastle were coming at us. And I think we'll suffer for large parts of the game, but we're going to be clinical, and we need to be very, very clinical on Sunday. But would I take a draw? No. Do I think we're going to win?
Man. All I asked for the score prediction. You're doing what you normally do. Just give us a score prediction. And you took Sarib's. It was Sarib's turn. It was Sarib's turn, and you took his turn. Hurry up now.
I've been off for 3-4 days. I need to make up for it. But I think we're going to win 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, it should be a good game then. Jay goes, Sad needs a hug. He doesn't need a hug. He needs a juppy today as well. He needs a juppy and a puppy today. That's what Tina needs.
Look at Sarib. Look at Sarib.
Sarib, kya dukhi hua hai? Yaar, what's wrong? Cheer up a little bit. You had your bit of a haircut. You can finish the other bit later on today. Give us a scoreline.
4-1 to Newcastle. We're gonna be 3-0 down.
No, that's just emotion. That's emotion, Sarib.
No, it's not. We're gonna be 3-0 down in the first half. If they go and sign Doucoure tomorrow, we're winning 5-0. But right now we're losing 4-1, innit?
Is he that much of a difference? Who do you think Doucoure is? Maradona?
I'm gonna go with the 2-0. I'm gonna go with the 2-0.
Yeah, he'll do a better job than anyone.
I'm going with the 2-0 Liverpool win. I think Diaz will be on it again, and I think Gakpo will score. So Gakpo and Diaz 2-0 win to Liverpool. Some super chats to address. Pradeep Kumbal, thank you for tuning in. Hope you're not related to Anil Kumble, the Indian spin bowler back in the day. Very good leg spinner. Could throw a what was it? A flipper back in the day. They used to say flipper. Very good cricketer. Took 10 wickets against you lot, actually. He took 10 wickets he took 10 wickets against Pakistan in one day. Yeah, mate. Anil Kumble. Kumble, mate.
Avi, calling him a leg spinner.
In Pakistan,
he was a leg spinner. He was a leg spinner.
He didn't spin it. His leg spinner.
Come on.
His leg spinner was a flipper.
The flipper was the googly.
He didn't have a googly. He had a throwdown. He had the throwdown. He did well to get 4 wickets.
Thank you for the super chat. Yara Mac Sabosala Ugarte Inacio release clauses. It would have been a £100 million spend. There's no plan, it seems, at Liverpool. Yeah, you are correct. Bizarre. I don't know what currency this is. What's RON? Currency RON. You've been around the world a little bit. What currency is that? No? Buy me out, Saudi. I am done with
Saudi Reals, mate, right now. That's all
I am done with the LFC issues. Thank you for the super chat. Anything else? No, I think we've covered all that.
Romanian, apparently.
Romanian? Oh, geez.
Respect.
Wow, we got people watching us from in Romania.
Yep. Guys, yeah, he was an off spinner. Jimmy Khan said that Anil Kumble was an off spinner. He was. No, he was a leg spinner. Sorry, he was a leg spinner. Yeah, leg spinner.
That's what I mean. He was a finger spinner. Wrist spinner.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a guy. Listen, there's a funny story about Vinod Kambli now. This turned into like an Indian cricket show now. Vinod Kambli actually, funnily enough, had a better rating than Sachin Tendulkar as a youngster. But one obviously made it to stardom. Unfortunately, Vinod Kambli didn't. But guys, some great shouts. Wasim Akram, best bowler of all time.
Oh, there we are. Just leave this on screen. Just leave this on screen. Just leave this on screen now.
I don't agree with it.
You do.
Come on, Avi. That left arm.
He was a brilliant bowler, but not the best for me.
Avi, we invented reverse swing. When we used to do it, they used to call it ball scratching. Now they call it reverse swing.
No, ball tampering back in the day. No, Wasim Akram was a great bowler. Don't get me wrong, but
he's the best ever.
Not with us. I like Courtney Walsh. I liked a bit of Courtney and Courtney Ambrose. I used to like them too. Courtney and Courtney Ambrose, man, you wouldn't want to play them in the West Indies. Let me tell you, Sabina Park, they would give you a proper. They were aggressive, yeah. But great bowlers. Some few shades of Saglain, some Saglain shouts, some Glenn McGrath, some Alan Donald shouts. Alan Donald, good bowler for South Africa.
Devesh, Sachin was never afraid of Akram. He was definitely afraid of. He was definitely afraid of Akram.
Sure,
he was afraid of Akram, though.
Sure. Anyway, I don't want this to listen.
I think I need this. Right now, honestly, I think I need this. This has actually made me feel better. Talking about this, having a laugh about this, because otherwise I would have gone home and sort of gone home. I've literally gone to bed thinking what the hell's going on. This has now made it a bit easy. But yeah, Shane won best spinner.
Alu deserves a shout though. Alu in Zamamalak. What a he deserves a bit. Alu. He was great. Was he one of the few? Did he always have a runner with him, or did he actually run between the wickets?
Most of the time.
Never ran. He didn't run out.
Shane won, obviously. God rest his soul.
There's a leg spinner. Ian Salisbury.
Oh yeah. You played for Sussex, didn't you? Sussex or something?
Was he at Lancashire as well?
Lancashire, maybe. Yeah, some great shouts here. Great shouts. I don't know how we've gone. Sarib Bachara wasn't even born when these cricketers, when they were about Courtney Ambrose,
Sarib's all about baseball.
Darren Goff, Malcolm Marshall, Devon Malcolm. You know, these were real characters of cricket. Nowadays, I've stopped obviously watching, but
Devon
those
Malcolm,
were the real.
what a
Javagal
bowler.
Srinath, mate. No one could touch Javagal on his day. Javagal, the jab, for India. But great bowlers all around the show.
doing this.
Sarib's more the baseball generation.
Yeah, he's
Baseball,
baseball. He's baseball.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, what a leg spinner. Mushy.
Mushy, the
Oh,
legend.
what
Mushtaq
a-
Ahmed.
You know, you'll never be. That action was legendary, man.
Or Malinga, the one that throws it like that.
Yeah, Malinga's good. Tell you a story, guys. Tell you a story back in the day. No word of a lie. Everyone, I've told you guys I played for under 18s Kent Spitfires back in the day. But I also faced an over. Well, 5 balls because I made a single off him. I faced an over from the skiddy Pakistani bowler Mohamed Salah. There you go, lads.
Oh yeah, go on. Yeah,
Mohamed Salah. Yeah, when he had curtain hairstyle, I played against Mohamed Salah.
He was quick.
He was quick,
bowled-
very skiddy. Very skiddy. Very quick bowler. But yeah, I was able to hold my own, but very quick bowler. But
What do
listen,
you
guys,
think of Irfan Pathan? Seriously, what do you think of Irfan Pathan?
I think it was okay. I thought he was okay when he first started. His brother was okay as well. He's nifty, like an all-rounder type. Not enough pace for me.
Irfan Pathan did
India always struggled with pace. We never had a pacey bowler back in the day. Always struggled with pace.
He never had a pacey bowler though. That's the truth.
No, Lakshmi Balaji.
Come on, no.
I was always
Avi,
an England fan. I always loved England then.
Avi, I'm talking proper pace, man. I'm not talking medium fast. I'm talking very fast. That's what I'm talking.
I don't even think the Indian bowlers were medium fast. I think they were just slow. 60, 70,
But
60,
anyway,
70.
Irfan Pathan did a Fabinho. He just fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Irfan, he had a brother as well. I think he's Mohamed Pathan or something. I don't know
He was
his
a
name.
batter. He was a batter. An off spinner
But
as well.
90s, late 90s cricket, early 2000s, you can't. That era for me was.
Sharma,
unprecedented.
Sharma, Srinath, I remember them.
But, yeah, guys, look, that's been an hour and 15. We should do a cricket show one day. Just the
No, you
hour.
know what?
Maybe a World Cup watch
Maybe
along.
World Cup coming up. I mean, it was against you boys.
I'm not watching a 50-over game, mate. Not watching a 50-over game.
Watch along between me and Avi. Pakistan, India. Bro,
I don't support India. I support
Avi
England.
would
I support
support
England.
Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly. There's more chance of probably me supporting Pakistan than India right now. But anyway, that's for another day. No, listen, my favorite batsman actually is Sarib Ganguly.
Good player.
The king of Kolkata. The king of Kolkata.
Just don't take your top off like him.
No. That was a great game, by the way. The NatWest Trophy, that one day against England. Have Pakistan beaten India in a World Cup now, 50 overs?
Yeah.
Is that record? No? They still haven't, right? On the 50. We're ending on that note, boys. I'm giving it back to the Indians. I've given the owners back to the Indians. Guys, like and subscribe. Make sure you guys have liked and subscribed the channel. All love and peace. There was a good 400 of you guys on here on a impromptu Friday night show. Could be back tomorrow. I think we will be back tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow. And then, guys, like and subscribe.
If Salah's medical's 48 hours away, then we'll be definitely back tomorrow.
All right, brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. Love and peace.
Take
Thank you.
care. Have a good weekend, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.